at this point about 185 pieces. They're not all up, but, and there's another 100 that I haven't finished yet. So hopefully, one day they'll be exhibited. This body of work took at least 2 years to do. I work on translucent mylar film. So I begin with a basic drawing that is a dotted line because it refers to sewing and basting stitches. But it also reminds me of other things with dotted lines, Morse code, crosswalks, text. We're always like going line, line, line. You know, it's a mark. And I've always been interested in making marks with non-traditional materials. So I use beads and sequins and rhinestones, found objects, vintage ephemera, old postcards, match covers, comic books, almost anything that goes with the theme that I'm trying to tell a story. My work's very much about memories. The postcards are from probably 1903 or 4 is the oldest one, and then there's some that are very recent, like last year. And I chose all the images. They're all tall, skinny, narrow forms, water towers, waterfalls, skyscrapers, rockets, plants, trees. As you can probably extrapolate, it's subtle sexual innuendo about male potency, actually. My work is often about good girl, bad girl, my position in the world and how I feel about power struggles and feminism, and I'm old. I mean, I was, you know, growing up during one of the important times where we all started marching, and now we're doing it again. So there's an undercurrent of very serious emotional or societal issues in my work, but it's very pretty. So lots of times people say, oh, it's pretty, meaning like it's empty. But pretty doesn't have to be empty. Pretty can be a thread that leads you into like a fantasy land. And there's nothing wrong with that. This is, I think, 140 of the 185 that I've finished so far. I've got more in progress. Some of them are very old. This one is a leather postcard, and some of them are real photographs that have been hand-colored. Postcards became a souvenir, but they're also advertising. So I'm very interested in pop culture and how things have a double meaning most of the time. They're trying to sell you something, but they kind of do it by sucking you in with a very appealing image. And so some of my other work has got a lot more advertising pieces, but some of these, you know, are clearly trying to sell you on the place. I was looking at this piece earlier with someone, and not only did all the beads and sequins are hand sewn. Not only did I hand sew that purple sequin on there, but I went back and painted the sequin.
Do you have any influences, like inspiration?
Yes, a lot. Everything from Matisse. It seems that artists tend to like Picasso or Matisse. And I love Matisse because of the joyous color and the flat perspective. when I would try to draw, part of the problem was I couldn't get the dimension proper. And so that, and then even someone like Andy Warhol was an influence. I was very young and saw the soup can images, and those were cereal imagery, not like cereal you eat, the other kind of cereal, because it was the different brands. And so in textiles and fabric design, they have colorways. Like you'll find a fabric or something and it'll be all in shades of blue, and then you'll see the exact one for sale in shades of yellow. And so that notion of being able to just have little slight permutations was interesting to me. But I also like Agnes Martin, Frank Stella. Surprisingly, I like a lot of very quiet white work, white on white quilting. That was early American. Robert Ryman paintings from the 70s. I look at everything in a very non-judgmental way, because I love nonsense. I love, trinkets, and I find, it's like the kid who always has a rock or a car in their pocket. You hold these things and they have a lot of import. And I try and tell my story, but it was hard to get to this point where I was taking all these techniques and trying to find my voice. That was the hardest part after art school, is to do something that no one had done it like that. Franny Kelch, whose gallery artists are all in this exhibit, has a great appreciation of outsider art, obsessive art, art made out of trash. And so she has shown my work for more than 20 years.